Well, that is it. The 2025 NCAA tournament is complete, and we have a group champion, a first-time group champion, I believe. BoyManGodSht. I think we all know what you were trying to say there. Censored by ESPN, the YEM lyrics. And in fact, BoyManGodSht had two in the top 10. It was really all decided before tonight. It was just a matter of, was his Houston champion bracket going to win it? Or was his Florida champion bracket going to win it? And it was indeed Florida, which saved me some serious face. Got on the front page, finished 28th overall. But enough about me. I just did at least want to mention myself, considering I have been doing so horrible, but did make a late comeback. So who else is in the top 10 besides BoyMan? Now, he makes up 20% of the top 10 with two brackets in there. Congratulations. I would have thought early on that two very similar brackets was a mistake, but boom, there you are. Congratulations. And coming in second place was R. Paul, Sheet O Integrity. And it really wasn't even close. You know, BoyMan had won by almost 200 points, 160-point victory for BoyMan. So R. Paul coming in second. He was several picks ahead of C. Bulba. Then we had Try 2. Otter Creek topping the cracking the top five here, along with Spud Cake. Spud Cake's won. GH Devils in there. Seemed like Spud and GH were in the mix the whole time, along with Otter Creek. Bulba, I saw his name a lot. Feel like Try 2 might have snuck in here at the end. Bracket Bus Torture finishing inside the top 10, along with Joe Short's picks. Number 2. So Joe was amongst the competitors throughout. He finishes right below, or one above, BoyManGodSht's second. So that makes up our top 10. Funky Town Chuck up there had a good shot. Houston, however, Hoondog, Dangling Parts. Can't forget about Dangling Parts. He had a good run. Reginald Johnson, The Champ's Decree, Terrapin Hoop Station. DH up there in the top 20. Daryl Dunphy. And then who's right? Wolfman's stepbrother and Shoop Lukes rounding out the top 20. Lake Placid also in there. Trace Feet picks. Then another, the Muffin Man. The Muffin Man had a lead at one point. Duke really let the Muffin Man down. All right, so congratulations to the champion, BoyManGodSht. Thanks to everybody that joined the group. Had nearly 100 brackets this year. All right, so 28th was the best I could manage, which really, I stole some points back with having Florida as the champion. You know, picking the champion is something, but overall, 2 thumbs down for my brackets this year. The other one where Duke was my champion, not good at all. I don't know what happened to Mary Elizabeth. At one point, she had the lead. She was number 1. Michigan State. It all fell apart when Michigan State and UConn went down. UConn first, then Michigan State. I guess the only thing I can brag about, since this is all about me, is I did have Drake winning in the first round, which I think a lot of people did, and I had St. John's. Get out of here. Frauds. I knew St. John's was getting fraud checked, and they did. Just about everything else I got wrong. And I had the Florida champion. And it was my first bracket. My best overall bracket ended up being my 6th bracket. All right, guys. Boom. We're out of here. Thanks again to everybody that joined. Looking like Denver 1997 is going to be a future recap, along with the final day of Clifford Ball. So stay tuned for that. And, hey, March Madness. We're only a year away, less than a year away from filling out our brackets again next year. One of these years, I'm going to win it. DH, Tom, thank you, former champions, for participating once again. Can't win them all. Tom Lake, could have brought home the cup. You didn't. Poor Canada, losing again. Boom.